Hey everybody and welcome back to Semi Stories. Today we got a couple of spicy stories from r/today I messed up, starting with OP whose cat got his wife pregnant? Alright. Technically this happened about 3 weeks ago since the test just came back positive, but here's some background. Last year my wife and I had our first child. It was a less than ideal pregnancy that had her dealing with weeks of bed rest due to preeclampsia with severe features. It wreaked total havoc not only on her physical health, but her mental health as well. Fortunately, everything was alright in the end, and she gave birth to our healthy 4 pound 2 ounces boy just shy of 2 months early, who is doing fantastic now. Due to the difficulty of this first pregnancy and concerns over COVID, we decided it was best to put off kid number 2 for at least a couple of years. She started taking birth control shortly after giving birth to be sure we had no surprises. But the pill tends to make her very sick and she wanted to lose weight, so she stopped taking it. We thought rubbers would be enough, but that's where our cat comes in. Our cat is an evil genius. I seriously think the orange greasy little shit is still smarter than our nearly 1-year-old. He gets into everything, and I do mean everything. No door, drawer or cabinet can stop him, and if he knows where something that he wants is, he will find it. It's so bad that for weeks after adopting him, I thought there was a poltergeist in the house because each morning I'd wake up to find every single cabinet door in the kitchen wide open. So, how did I mess up and let him impregnate my wife? Well, my first mess up was storing the condoms in the same drawer as the Q-tips, which he loves to get into and shred apart. He must have seen the box of Q-tips in the drawer when I put my rubbers away, because not even an hour later I stumbled upon a horrific scene of chewed plastic straws, shredded cotton fluff, and shiny gold condom wrappers scattered around the gaping drawer that once contained them. I didn't think any of it at the time, and I just cleaned up the destroyed Q-tips and put the condoms that had spilled everywhere back into that box without a concern in the world. We ended up having some sexy time later that night, and I vividly remember stumbling into the dark bathroom, opening said drawer, and blindly fumbling around in the box to pull out a condom, as was the routine, thinking nothing of what happened earlier. That is until fast forward a few weeks to just the other day, when my wife was complaining of nausea and tender breasts. We immediately shoot each other a concerned glance as this isn't our first rodeo, and she felt the same way before discovering her first pregnancy. She still had half an empty box of tests from the year before, and we decided to take one just to be sure, followed by another one and another one, all of them positive. We start racking our brains wondering what would happen when it suddenly hits me. That damned cat. I ran over to the bathroom drawer where I kept the condoms, dumped out the box on the counter and started to inspect each miserable little foil square. Sure enough, several had noticeable scratches, teeth marks, and even full-blown punctures in them. Which leads me to mess up number 2, not checking to see if the cat chewed on any of my rubbers week before when he had gotten into that drawer. I can't wait to explain to my new son or daughter one day that they owe their existence to the family cat. After reading the title, I almost didn't want to read that one, but I'm really glad I did. I'm also appreciative of OP sharing a picture of the culprit, this absolutely adorable little rascal right here. Indeed, a great story to tell the children one day, and I just wonder what they're going to name the child. If it's a girl, I would definitely suggest Kitty. In our next story, OP messes up by making himself an uncle. So this started 2 weeks ago. I went to my mom's house for the holidays and just left today. My younger brother, 17, still lives with my mom. Doing the basic family reunion stuff, catching up, bugging my brother about women, when to my surprise he announces he has a girlfriend. Naturally, I start being an a-hole and bugging him about the fact that she doesn't exist. Very cliche stuff. I get to teasing him about not losing his V-card, and my mom is not liking the conversation. His girlfriend ends up coming over. I stop the teasing because I'm not a monster. So I'm talking to his girlfriend, getting to see why she is with my brother, etc. She's a half-decent girl and she says she's throwing a party, but my mom is being a stickler and not letting my brother go. I tell her not to worry about it and I'll talk her into letting my brother go out. I get to talking to my mother about how she should let him go, and she's being very defensive. My argument was the fact that she sheltered him a little too much. We were raised kind of yin and yang. I grew up partying, doing drugs, teenage gang type of stuff. And he grew up in his bedroom talking to his friends. Nothing wrong with it, but there's little to no face to face. Saying how a party would be good for him, I even offered to go. I'm only 23, by the way. She was worried about if he had sex and whatnot. I told her he's old enough, and she brought up that she had me when she was 17 and didn't want him to make that same mistake. I know how that sounds. So I finally convinced her and she agreed. So I decided I need to give my little brother the wrap your willy speech. He is super awkward about it. I knew my brother was losing it that night. Fast forward to the party, I drop him off so my mom thinks I'm gonna be there and I leave. I pick him up later and he is grinning ear to ear. I proceed to bring him home and my mom is not happy with me because apparently her friend saw me at a bar and the interrogation begins. He's hungover, not wanting to answer. Skip to yesterday and his girlfriend tells him that she's pregnant and going to keep it. Well, holy crap, did I get reamed out. Apparently she convinced him to go in raw and make her a toaster strudel. Well, as you would all expect, a virgin's pullout game is not strong, but he has some good swimmers apparently. So now my mom is pissed and blaming me. My brother is becoming a father and I'm becoming an uncle. Opie then edited the post with a couple of updates. Update 1. So she is swearing up and down that she has not slept with anyone else. She agreed to a paternity test, so we gotta wait a bit for her to get it. I'm on the same thought train as all of you, thinking they were getting frisky for a while. They have been together for 2 months. My brother was getting tested for STIs, and I was all over him about that. Update 2. Everyone is asking for an update, and I can't really give one because we have to wait for her to be father along the paternity test. My brother does not have any STIs or STDs, and my mother is still being unreasonable and blaming me for this. I'm helping him look for work if it does turn out to be his. Update number 3. The test results have come back and you are the father. Mother is crying and my brother is in shock, and the girlfriend's family is trying to convince her to get an abortion. Everyone pray for this child. The 4th and final update. They're keeping the kid. Mom still doesn't talk to me. I helped my brother get a job and helped him graduate high school. I've started a savings account for him and my girlfriend and I are going to move into a place with him and his girlfriend to help them out. Jeez, I thought he got his own sister pregnant or something. But aside from that, what a nice ending to the story. I guess pregnancy at an early age runs genetically in the family. All jokes aside, I commend OP for being a good big brother. Helping out his little brother like this, I only hope the mother forgives him for something that would have happened regardless by the sounds of it, and everyone can just move on. In his next story, OP messes up by trying a new sexual position with their boyfriend. Okay, so this didn't happen today, but 3 days ago. I've been laid up in a hospital bed since then, so give me a break and just read the damn thing. Wednesday night, the boyfriend and I were kid-free for the evening and decided to go out on a quick date. Ended up having a blast at our local joint, then came home and did the deed. Wanting to spice things up a bit, we tried a new position. Don't get too excited, it wasn't anything acrobatic, just different for us. I jokingly said afterward that I needed some Advil after because I doubted that I could walk afterwards. Ha ha ha. I would live to regret that joke. My pelvic area began to ache about 10 minutes afterwards. I said to him, "I'll be right back. I guess I really do need an Advil," and went downstairs. My pelvis began to hurt, so I stopped in the bathroom and immediately collapsed. The pain was surreal. My body began to shake, I started to sweat, and I had my phone with me and frantically tried to dial my BF because I couldn't muster up the breath to scream for him. My fingers fumbled about. I couldn't get my phone to work. I was losing consciousness. A few seconds later, my boyfriend comes downstairs to get something to drink and finds me on the bathroom floor. Next thing you know, I'm at the emergency room. 12 hours I was in the ER, unable to move due to the extreme pain. I cried out and my vitals were crashing. I looked 3 months pregnant. My stomach was swelling. Thankfully, a nurse named Hannah stopped by and recognized my symptoms just as my stomach went rigid and my vitals tanked. I was rushed to the OR. 2 hours later, I'm being awoken by a nurse and told that I had what was called a hemorrhagic cyst of about 6 centimeters that had ruptured as a result of our sexual endeavor and was bleeding out into my abdomen at an alarming rate. How alarming? 2.5 liters of blood was removed during surgery from my abdomen. That's how much. I required a blood transfusion. Recovery will be long. My body is totally wiped, but at least I can say the sex was good. Oof, that sounds horrifically painful and extremely scary to have to deal with. I hope OP recovered nicely. The truth is that cyst would have burst at any point anyways, so I'm kind of glad that it happened at home rather than some strange place. Now, I know what you're thinking. What position could have done this? Well, turns out it was the famous mating press. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment with your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!